Hi, my name is Brooklyn, and I want to start off by asking you a question. Have you ever heard of BVDV? It's a viral virus that runs in mostly calves, but it's also common in cattle as well. It's actually a very deadly and sickening disease that is very prominent in the cattle industry. Making your way into the cattle industry can seem like a great idea, but it's not all fun and games when you have the bovine viral diarrhea virus running through your herd and every one of them is sick. Some people may know a lot about BVDV, and then others might not be as knowledgeable. But the bottom line is anybody in the cattle industry, I think, needs to be well knowledgeable in the symptoms, signs, vaccinations, precautions for BVDV. I work on a stocker ranch. We're raising calves from weaning weight up until feedlot weight, which is one of the most crucial times in their life. They're coming from being taken care of by their mothers, and now they're taking care of themselves. It's also the most time where they're susceptible to catching a disease or a virus. So, making sure your herd is well taken care of and vaccinated is an important thing so that they're not getting diseases or spreading them. Testing for cattle for BVD is a very crucial step when bringing cattle into the herd, but why is it so important? There are different ways that you can test, but any stocker operation owner knows that BVDV is a very deadly virus, and testing for it is a vital step when entering new calves into your operation. When buying calves, there are different things that the calf buyer can look for, where its head is being held, the consistency of its poop, does it look fatigued, how is its body size, body shape, does it look like it's comfortable, or does it just look like, you can tell, especially for a person, cattle buyer is going to be well versed in what his job is. You can also do more accurate testing, such as taking an ear clipping out of its ear when you run it through, when you work them or run them through the chute. You can take an ear clipping and then send it off for testing, or you can do testing there at your place as well. Testing for cattle for BVDV is very important, but new livestock owners might not be as well knowledgeable on the effects of BVDV, and there are crucial things that you need to know to keep this deadly virus out of your herd, and there are also things that you can look for. Just like many viral viruses today, there are different strands. One of the most common is, and I have also experienced it firsthand, seeing it, was the Moscow disease, causing diarrhea, ulcers, and fatigue. Even though there are different strands, a lot of symptoms are very similar, such as fever, depression, inappetence, abortion, fatigue, and like I mentioned before, the diarrhea and the ulcers. BVDV can be an absolute mess to deal with, and after knowing the effects, it can be much easier to treat your cattle, and also what to do to make them more comfortable if they do have it. Sadly, no cattleman can go his entire working life without seeing or having BVDV in his herd or in a calf or cow, but some have handled it much better because they're knowledgeable in vaccines and like isolation measures. Keeping viruses out of the herd can be challenging, but sanitizing equipment, keeping a clean workspace can lower the risk of viruses being spread. Sometimes things happen and animals might get sick. If a calf were to catch it, they need to be isolated and properly disposed of if they do die. But there are also some vaccines, such as MLV, which is a modified live viral, and there's also an inactivated vaccine or vaccines that you can give calves to hopefully treat them and make them better in the long run. BVDV is a terrible thing, and for a calf, it can really be detrimental to the calf's health and also its lifespan. It's just very uncomfortable, and meaning it's probably not eating, and basically we're wasting our money. But on the few calves that do survive, they survive because of the precautions and care that they get from their owners. Like I said before, BVD is important, and it's testing for is a crucial step, and it's crucial because it can be detrimental to your herd if an entire herd gets it. It's highly contagious and a sickening virus amongst cattle. And if you're taking the right steps and precautions, if you're undertaking them, we can limit the chances of cattle catching this virus. The cattle raising industry is already sinking due to feed prices. I mean, it's over $100 higher than last year. And the cherry on top of this mess, if we would be losing a large amount of calves to BVDV. I think it's just important that we do the right precautions and the vaccines to keep this out of our herd. Thank you.